Are we live? We're good. I'd like to call to order the committee of the whole meeting for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 to be being held and transmitted electronically via council chambers located at 39 South Shore Road, Lake Cowichan. I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered here tonight on the unceded territories of the Subatsit First Nation. I'd like to congratulate them for the purchase of an adjacent property with growing their lands recently, and also the announcement about their water reservoir with the town Lake Cowichan is partnering with, and we look forward to partnering with them in future endeavours as well. Is there any introduction of late items? It's under unfinished business. I'm not sure if this will be achieved tonight, but 63 Cowichan Lake Road. We had it at the last meeting as well, but I don't believe there's anything to report, but I'd like to keep it front of mind if possible. So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda. Councillor Sandhu, seconded by Mayor McGonigal. We'll call the question. All those in favour? That is approved. There is no one here tonight, so there'll be no public input. Minutes from the committee of the whole meeting from last month, May 13th, for information. Is there any discussion on that? No, we will move on. So what I just spoke about, the unfinished business of 63 Cowichan Lake Road, we did receive some communication from the property owner. I know that at the last committee of the whole meeting, we were promised an update on at least the building permits. I don't believe we have that tonight. Oh, we do, sorry. Ms. Gill.
I think Mr. Hallett was in the office and he's looking for a delegation request to the next meeting.
Okay. We'll look forward to that. No delegations tonight. Correspondence, we have the Cowichan Lake and River Stewardship Society grant and aid for town cleanup. Would you like to speak on that, Councillor Sandhu?
Yes, thank you. So this isn't a request for a grant and aid. It is just information for the town to make a formal approval, or the council to make a formal approval to support the town cleanup, September 14th, 2025.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councillor Austin to support the cleanup on, sorry, what was the date?
September 14th.
September 14th, and that is seconded by Councillor Sandhu. Is there any discussion on this? Mayor McGonigal?
Thank you. Would there be a need for Public Works pickup of said trash after the pickup?
So we have our next meeting, June 20th, and that will be a question that I'll be asking. This is quite clear just on the layout of the day. What they wanted to do was set up 6 litter pickup stations strategically within the town, more the downtown core, and it would be from 11 to 2 to do the cleanup, and then after that, just kind of bring some pizza in or whatnot. So yeah, that we'll have to work with Public Works on that as to what to do with that.
And if I may, I think in the past we have done some town cleanups where there were bags provided and cans placed strategically throughout the community and then picked up by Public Works after that. So if we could follow that policy, if need be, coordinated with our staff, I think that would be good.
Just further to that, so maybe on the 20th, we could have somebody from Public Works, the superintendent, come to the meeting just for a few minutes, just to hear what the river stewardship's thinking and then what the town can do.
And if I may, Mr. Chair, perhaps if we put this forward to council for a final decision on the participation of this, that might be appropriate. So moving this forward to council meeting on the 24th for further discussion and direction.
So I have a all right, guys, I got this. I have a motion on the floor that's been first and seconded, so I have to call
That was just direction to staff.
Okay. So I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of supporting this motion? The motion is passed. We will look for direction from staff after that.
And now we'll move that direction that this be placed on the June 24th council meeting for further discussion, further information and decision.
Do we have to move that, or is that just
I will move it
direction?
so it's.
Okay, move it. Can we have a seconder? Councillor Sandu. I'll call the question straight away. Eh? Oh, sorry. I almost tripped up there.
So to the superintendent, have we in previous years done pickup for the event? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I'll call the question on the direction to staff. All those in favor? That motion is passed. Next up, we go to reports. We have Director of Finance with a financial report from the end of May 31st, 2025.
Thank you, Councillor Frisbee. These financial statements, as you stated, for the period ended May 31st, they include the property taxation revenue for 2025. As you all know, property tax notices were mailed out early this year because we thought there may be a postal strike. But if you have not received your tax notice, please contact the office immediately. I just wanted to clear up some confusion. Many people are coming into the office stating that they've claimed their homeowner grant when they in fact have not. It was the spec tax that they're thinking about. So you get the same confirmation number for your speculation tax as you do for your homeowner grant. So just a friendly reminder to everybody to make sure that you do in fact claim your grant if you are eligible. And also a friendly reminder that regardless of whether your taxes are deferred or paid by your mortgage company, you must still claim that grant. And tax deferments must also be made by the July 2nd due date to avoid penalty. One other thing that happened last week is that we've now converted fully the Lakeview Park Campground reservation system from the old legacy system to what they're calling the new platform 2.0. So we're still working through the bugs on that, but it went rather smoothly. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Councillor Bomaka.
Not a question. It was just an inquiry as to, I know I did see it on the town's website once about the tax notices being mailed out. Can we continue to perhaps do that weekly just to refresh in residents' mind?
Yes, and I guess the other thing I should mention is that those that have general delivery addresses, we are getting those returned. So especially if you have a general delivery, don't have a post office box, to check with us, and if you haven't received your notice, to make sure that it hasn't been returned.
Mayor McGonigal.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to the museum painting. I'm a little confused on the answer I got last meeting. So in 2024, there was 10,000 budgeted for museum painting. Through to the superintendent, was that implemented through Public Works?
No, it was not.
And further, if I may, were there expenditures within that budgeted $10,000 in the painting?
Yes, there was 4,000 or 4,500 expended last year. The fellow contractor tried to attempted to paint that building. He did one side and the painting was peeling and falling off, and yeah, he tried to repair and paint, but it didn't work.
So if there was expenditures in there, would it not be common practice to show those as actuals? I'm just questioning why they're not showing as actuals, or was it in operational?
It was moved to operations because it turned out to be a repair and not capital.
Okay, and the remainder of that 10,000 would have been rolled into surplus?
It was surplus and rebudgeted for this year.
And further, if I may, was there a sole source or a request for quotes for that project?
I believe, I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I believe a couple painters were contacted and only one
Responded?
responded.
Okay. If you could gather that information, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other questions on this financial report? Mayor McGonigal.
Sorry, through to the superintendent on the proposed paving project of Park Road. Should there be money left over, is there any possibility of continuing the River Road paving from the bottom up to where the subdivision had done some paving? There is a number of potholes within there that have been significantly repaired, and the manhole cover or stormwater cover is sinking there as well. Just wondered if there was any funds left over, if we could accommodate finishing that piece.
Yeah, after we do our paving, because we're gonna do a couple of roads, 3 roads, as a matter of fact. There should be some funds left. We can have a look at that River Road again. The reason we haven't done it, we're hoping to run a new line down River Road, so I don't want to pave it this year and then dig it up next year.
Good answer. Thank you.
Any further discussion? No, we'll move on to the building inspector report for May for information only. Is there any discussion on that? No, we'll move on. Next up, we have the fire department incident report for May. Would anyone like to motion the payment of $9,195.47? Councillor Austin and seconded by Councillor Vormarker. Any discussion? Mayor McGonigal?
Again, I'm going to bring up the alarms. I think we do have a bylaw regarding the number of alarms that are answered to each year. I'm hoping that there could be a report come back from the fire chief on any contravention of those numbers within that, if possible. Just looking to make sure that we're not accommodating calls that are not being reappropriated.
Any further discussion? Councillor Vormarker?
So now that we're entering our hot season, can we also put something on our town website about Fire Smart? I've started to hear it on the radio where they're starting to warn people to be diligent with cigarette butts, etc. So we should address it now. Thank you.
So we have it first and seconded. I'll call the question on the approval of the $9,195.47. All those in favour? That motion is passed. Moving along, we have Public Works and Environmental Services, progress on the sanitary sewer upgrades.
There's not a lot of changes. We met with the engineer last week on the preliminary design. They've moved along fairly well with it. So a group of us reviewed it and we're just moving forward. And the big thing we're waiting now is for the environmental impact study, which the government asked us late on it, so it's going to take some time.
Any questions on that? No. Thank you for that update. Oh, sorry, Mayor McGonigal.
Not on that topic, but on the paving of the adjacent property to the west of us, just progress on that.
All of our paving was supposed to be done in May. Duncan Paving ended up having to do some paving for Ministry of Transport, and it's taken longer than expected, so it's pushed us back a little bit. Hopefully the next couple of weeks, they've told me.
and there was some discussion about some work that needed to be completed. Has that been completed in preparation for the paving?
On the parking lot, it has pretty much, yeah.
And if you could just speak about the placement of the flag poles in the project?
Talked to the contractor late last week. He had some issues he had to deal with, but he's hoping to start either this week or next week.
And if you can just let council know where they will be placed.
Sorry?
If you could let council know where they will be placed.
Oh, the flagpoles will be placed right in the front. There's a concrete box. We had a few flowers in it last year. We've removed those flowers and they'll be, the posts will be right there. As you're leaving the building, you'll see I got 3 circles in there. There'll be 3 poles.
So just imagine there's flag poles there, and once they're implemented, there will be landscaping in place as well. Thank you.
Councillor Austin?
I had asked quite some time ago that when we do the parking lot, if we can have a plaque for Mildred Child put at the corner there somewhere, maybe below the flags or something like that to denote what that building was and a little bit about Mildred Child.
Yeah, that's actually probably a good idea, but you guys can speak on that.
If I'm not mistaken, there is a heritage plaque that was removed from the building. Would that be appropriate to accommodate that instead? It's, we can have a look at it after the meeting. It's out in the foyer. Thank you.
Moving along, we have new business. Councillor Vomaka on the sock rocket project info pack.
This was one that was at FCM, and I actually was just in the trade show thinking this would be really good for a community group, community services, anyone who wanted to do fundraising. And so the fellow sent everything to me. And it's interesting because for every 1 pair of socks that you buy, they donate 3 pairs of socks to your community of choice, or not your community, but your charity of choice, or they would distribute them if you wanted to. And I had, sorry, I didn't get the things in time. And to Christine, I'll send them all to you now. And so the fellow asked me, oh, there's Christine. Okay, send it anyway. Yeah, they give it to the person who's less techie, right? So it'll come to you now. And so the fellow sent me back this example of, obviously he did some work with Lake Cowichan, and I was going, okay, but hold on, this is not what I was asking for it to be, a promo of the town. So I sent him back the letter to the mayor and to our CAO saying this was not my intention, but they both thought, well, hold on here a sec, this could be something that maybe we would want to do in conjunction with some of our community partners. So that's why it's just there for your perusal. And I thought the mock-up, they obviously spent a lot of time, looking at Lake Cowichan. And then I believe they put you the logo on the town's logo on the paper at the very top. But it was something interesting from the trade show.
And McGonigal?
Yeah, I thought that was a great idea for branding, perhaps something that we could look at. I'm sure it doesn't have to be right away, but it could be for further discussion. And then collaborating with a local service group that could accommodate the placing of those within the need of the community. So it was just to get everyone's ideas, whether this is something we should pursue in the future or just leave for individuals to look at. That was the only reason I brought it forward.
Yep.
Any discussion on it? No? Okay. We'll move on. We have no one in attendance tonight. And the phone has not rung in forever. So I will move on from question period. Do we have in camera tonight? We do not have an in-camera tonight. So after 22 minutes, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Can't do that. That would be a record, so we'll have to pause.
Okay. We need to invite Area Director Morrison into this one. Okay, moved by Mayor McGonigal, seconded by Councillor Austin. All those in favour to set a record? That motion is passed. Thank